name TIP12 from, and when did you get the name TIP12?
Long story. All right, so I got the name TIP12 from, well, first off, I started making beats at the age of 12. That's where the 12 came from. And then I had my initials, which is really TEP, but I'm like, that ain't gonna sound right. So I just said, at first it was T1P. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spell it like T1P12. That's gonna be TIP12. You feel me? But then I was like, I don't like how I spelled. So I just kind of changed the spelling to how it sound. And I just added the LVE to kind of make it unique for real. So that's how I came up with TIP12.
What would you consider to be your biggest accomplishment so far in your journey?
Um, I recently just went gold with Shordie. We had a song called Save a Little. We did about like 4 years ago. I actually made the beat 6 years ago. And the crazy thing is, when I made that beat, I knew that that beat was gonna be a hit, but I didn't know with who or how it was gonna happen. I was still what, like 18 around the time. I was working at Lowe's, you know what I'm saying? I made that beat. I'm like, damn. This is before I had the name, any of that. I'm in the crib like, damn, I'm fresh off work. I'm about to make this beat. I don't know who gonna hop on this beat or what. I'm like, this shit gonna be a hit. And now I just went gold for it. That's my biggest accomplishment right now.
With the RIAA hit, right? First off, for the people who don't know, what is RIAA and all of that?
That's basically the company that that basically certifies a song on gold, platinum, diamond, and all that. You know what I'm saying? And then once they certify, you can get your plaque made by them and stuff like that. It's really nothing more, nothing less of that.
Okay, and to clarify, at the age of 18, you made a beat that ended up being certified by the RIAA as a gold hit. So,
Yep.
for the younger producers or people coming up as producers, what message or what lesson can they take away from something like that?
Just keep going. Even if you can't see the vision, you can't see the future. If you know that this is what you want to do, keep going. Just keep pushing. Even when you at your lowest and you done lost yourself, you feel me? Like, excuse me. Even when you lost yourself and you done lost touch with life, you feel me? You going through shit with your family, you going through shit with your friends, your girl, people that you're dealing with in the business, you might lose yourself. But it's really, that's the time where time gonna tell if you really want it or not. So you really gotta push through all of that. If you push through all of that, everything gonna start making sense and it's gonna be clear.
A lot of people would say, at this current point in time, Shordie might be the most notable rapper coming out of Baltimore.
Right.
Or maybe like the rapper who made it the furthest out of all the Baltimore rappers. So, can you talk to us about that collab and how it came about?
So the crazy thing about that collab is I actually been trying to like work with him for like, before we actually started working, I was trying to work for him for like 2 years straight. I was having him on his live. I'm like, yo, I sent you beats. I was loading his email up with beats. You know what I'm saying? I was telling his man, he's like, yo, I sent them beats. And I just couldn't get no contact. Probably like 2 years after doing that, shout out my man Static 6, my brother. He hit me up and was like, yo, come to studio compound so we can work. Mind you, I always wanted to go to the studio, but I didn't know who owned it or where it was at. And I didn't even know the name. So I'm like, what the fuck is compound? I straight look it up. I'm like, damn, it's a studio. So he hit me up. I went in there. I'm like, hey, we about to lock in. So my brother Static had put me on. We locked in. The next thing you know, that next week, Shorty popped up in the studio. He popped up in the studio. I played in some beats. He said, oh yeah, we about to lock in. And from there, that's all she wrote. Everything went up from there.
So you spent 2 years trying to get in contact before it finally happened. So it seems like just a common theme in music is it takes time.
It takes a lot of time. You gotta love it and you gotta want it. You can't focus too much on the outcome or when it's gonna happen. You just gotta keep doing it. Eventually, if you keep doing it, it's gonna make sense and it's gonna happen. I'm a living testimony of that for sure.
So, speaking of that, What Baltimore artists or producers inspired you the most?